So in this video, I just want to go over getting data from a user, but parsing it as it comes in. In previous examples, if we wanted to get 4 values, we would do an input statement 4 times. But we do have the ability to actually get the user to type all the data in, right? And here I said, hey, by the way, type it all on one line, separated by a comma. So I'll just let them type the data in, then I'll split it, and then I will take each element out of my list and put it into a variable. So I first get the user just to type in a big string, right? I then use the split function or method on the string class to chop it up in that, and then I assign it to a particular variable, and this is me getting an element out. So what we'll do is we'll just run it, show you that it's working, and then we'll debug it. So I'm going to check my print statement here. Looks good. Okay. So here we go. Right click and run in the terminal. So I'm going to actually go 1, 2, 3, 4. 2.8 in around there. Yeah, for distance. That's good. So let's do a debug session and see what's actually going on in that. So we'll do the input and then we'll stop immediately. Okay, so run, start with debugging. Sometimes this takes 2 runs because of how it activates the environment, but we'll see. Might get lucky, might not. There we go. So I'll type the values in 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we're stopped here. The data has come in, but right now it's just a big chunk of text, even though it's a comma separated list. The computer doesn't know that, but we're going to chop it here using the split command. And now we have it organized into a list, right? So we've separated out 1, 2, 3, 4 into different elements in that. And we can get at those by using the index 0, 1, 2, 3 to get them. And that's what I'm doing down here. We'll just step over these lines quickly and you'll see that I am creating more variables here. I'll just roll all this up. Now we've got that converted to a proper number in that, and then we'll get x2 and y2 in that. So I'll shrink this down, grab some more space here. So you can see the values coming in, and there's y2. So they all came in. So they came in as one chunk of text. We chopped it up into 4 pieces of text, then converted it to proper numbers. And then we'll just finish up, and it'll print out the value. Now, one thing you can do, of course, is we can always put the input and the split on the same line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly comment out this, and I'll uncomment this section. And I'm going to switch my printout to. Now all I've done here is I've saved myself one line. So I read the value in and split it right away. Because it's a string, I can split it right away. So I'm really combining these line 23 and 24 into one line. And go get the data and chop it immediately and put it into the list. And then pull each value out, converting it to a float. So let's just run this to see if it actually still works. A couple more times there. And we'll run this. This time we'll go 1, 1, 2, 2. So that's square root 2, 1.14 roughly. Ah, that looks like it's working. That's good. Now there's another method in that using a list comprehension. And so we'll take a look at it. I don't advise doing this when you're first starting out, but it all depends what your comfort level is. So we're going to go down here, and what you might notice is that, okay, there's a whole bunch going on here. Or not, there's a whole bunch. I mean, we haven't changed, this line has not changed too much, in all honesty, from the previous example. So this line where we go data list 3 is equal to the input split. That's the same as last time. And that example just before. What's really changed is here is that you can do what's called a list expression or comprehension. So a list comprehension. So I'm going for every element in the list, take it and convert it to a float. And so it's going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And as it does that, stuff it into variable x1, y1, x2, and y2. So you can do a multi-value assignment in Python. That means assign a bunch of variables all at once on the equal sign. You just need something on the left. Well, here the variables are on the left. We need something on the right side that can actually bring back 4 values. And so this list comprehension can do that, right? It can take each of those things out of the list, which is a string, convert it into a float, and then it'll just stuff it into x1, y1, x2, and y2. Okay. Now I'll put a breakpoint in here for later, but we'll run it just to see if it's actually working. Okay. And up arrow. There we go. And I'll do the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 2.8. So it's working. So it sort of did its thing. We'll go back up here, run this, start a debugging session. Might take a second. And so it looks like it's getting ready. So we're on this line here. We're stuck on line 44 right now. It's waiting for actually 43. We're on line 43 waiting to get the data from the user. So I'll go 1, 1, 2, 2. That should give us 1.14 roughly. Now, this list comprehension, it's going to happen like in one line, but we already have these variables x1, x2, y1, y2. Right? So we have these, we can hover over them. They've been set through this list comprehension. So for everything in the list, do something to it and assign it into the variables. Now you don't always need variables on the left-hand side of a list comprehension. This just works in this case to assign a bunch of variables all at once. So it can shorten up your code, but you are doing a lot on one line, just so you know. And we're about to calculate distance here. We'll just step over and then print it out. That seems to have worked. Okay, so I actually don't recommend that until you're very comfortable with loops. This method's not too bad, where you just go and grab it and split it immediately, and then convert it. So if the list comprehension looks like too much, then just go one line at a time. We'll get it done. That's fine. And if you get more comfortable over time, then you can try to mess around with list comprehensions. They can save you a lot of lines of code. That's it for now.